This story is so unbelievable, but it happened. The man mentioned in this incident is truly a hero, but there were casualties, lives were lost, but in the end, mission accomplished. But at what cost? Well, watch till the end to find out. On October 22nd, 2015, at the break of dawn, Thomas Paine and his team executed a daring operation storming a prison in Iraq. Their objective was clear: to rescue over 70 hostages facing imminent execution held within two heavily fortified multi-story buildings. As the elite special forces engaged in a fierce firefight with the determined insurgents, an unexpected and perilous twist unfolded. The building housing the hostages suddenly caught fire, plunging the situation into chaos. The lives of the innocent hostages now hung in the balance as they remained trapped inside the blazing structure. In this critical moment, the mission's complexity intensified, pushing Thomas Paine and his team to the limits of their training and courage. The daunting challenge of rescuing the hostages became even more treacherous, with the raging inferno blocking their path. Amidst the overwhelming odds, the special forces faced a race against time to quell the flames and extract the hostages from the jaws of danger. The harrowing situation demanded quick thinking, decisive action, and unwavering bravery to navigate the precarious combination of armed adversaries and rapidly spreading fire. This gripping account captures the heart-stopping events of a perilous rescue mission where the bravery of Thomas Paine and his team shone through, displaying the true essence of heroism in the face of adversity. The clock was ticking rapidly, leaving little time to free the hostages unharmed. What transpired next would earn Thomas Paine the prestigious Medal of Honor, the highest military award in America. As a dedicated and highly experienced Delta Force soldier with over 13 years of service, Paine's valor and commitment were unquestionable. In 2012, he had even emerged victorious in the rigorous Best Ranger competition, a grueling 62-hour selection process where only 2 soldiers prevail. Despite a severe shrapnel injury endured 2 years prior during a development in Afghanistan, Paine refused to let it hinder his actions in any manner. Undeterred and driven by his unwavering dedication, he fearlessly embarked on 17 deployments to various troubled regions around the globe, showcasing his remarkable skills in special operations. Paine's resilience and unwavering commitment to his duties exemplified the true spirit of a soldier. Having undergone extensive training, Paine acquired various skills, including completing a sniper course, obtaining jump master qualifications, and becoming a tandem master. His tandem master certification enabled him to carry individuals who had never experienced skydiving during freefall. During one of his deployments to northern Iraq, Paine served as a deputy team leader, actively supporting the fight against the Islamic State, which had taken control of significant areas in the country. On October 22, 2015, Paine's team received a critical mission to rescue over 70 Iraqi hostages who were being held captive in the city of Al-Hawija. This operation would soon lead to a momentous act of valor that would earn Paine the prestigious Medal of Honor. After a rigorous week of planning and preparation, the special forces were all set to carry out the daring mission to rescue the hostages. However, just before they launched, new reconnaissance images revealed a chilling discovery: freshly dug graves outside the prison. This ominous finding left no room for doubt. The hostages' lives hung in the balance, and the threat of imminent execution loomed over them. The urgency of the situation intensified, fueling the determination of Thomas Paine and his team to execute the mission flawlessly and free the hostages before it was too late. With the discovery of the ominous graves outside the prison, there was no time to waste. The task force received the green light for their mission, and without delay, the highly skilled operators, alongside their Kurdish partner forces, boarded several helicopters. Together, they set off towards the stronghold of the Islamic State IS, where the hostages were being held. Among the forces supporting the operation were the Kurdish counterterrorism group known simply as CTG. United in their goal to rescue the hostages, the combined task force was a formidable team, determined to face the challenges ahead and bring an end to the harrowing situation unfolding in the city of Al-Hawija. As dawn approached, the Chinook helicopters landed once more, and the special forces swiftly disembarked, moving with purpose through the sandy terrain towards the prison. The Kurdish counterterrorism unit, which had joined forces with the Americans, had already made an attempt to blast an entrance through the prison wall, but their efforts were unsuccessful. Undeterred, as the highly trained special forces took charge of the situation, time was of the essence, and they needed to find an alternative entry point quickly to free the hostages and put an end to the threat posed by the insurgents. The tension in the air was palpable as they pressed forward, knowing that the lives of over 70 innocent civilians hung in the balance. As the Americans used ladders to climb over the prison wall, they came under a barrage of heavy enemy fire. The situation escalated rapidly, and amidst the chaos, Delta Force soldier Joshua Wheeler was seriously wounded by the intense gunfire. Despite the danger and the unfolding crisis, the Special Forces pressed on with unwavering determination. Their commitment to rescuing the hostages and neutralizing the threat was resolute, even in the face of adversity and the sacrifice of their fellow soldier. The safety of the hostages was their top priority, and they knew they had to act swiftly and decisively to ensure a successful hostage rescue operation. It was practically impossible to see once you were on the other side of the jail because of this chaos and confusion the ongoing combat had caused. Thomas Paine, however, used his significant training and experience to guide a squad towards their first goal, the first building where the hostages were being held. Paine's first concern as the situation deteriorated was for the safety and well-being of his crew and the injured soldier. He quickly decided to dispatch his medic to assist and support the hurt comrade while he carried out the remainder of the job. Paine's leadership and fast thinking were crucial in directing the crew through the difficult situations, paving the way through the chaos and danger for their crucial mission to free the hostages and eliminate the threat posed by the insurgents. Despite the initial reluctance of the Kurdish troops to move forward, Thomas Paine and his fellow American operators managed to motivate and encourage them to press on despite the adverse and chaotic conditions. With their determination and unwavering resolve, the combined force advanced towards the first building where 38 hostages were being held. Following Paine's orders, the team skillfully secured the building, encountering not only minimal resistance from the insurgents, their swift and precise actions demonstrated the efficiency and effectiveness of their training and collaboration. By securing the first batch of hostages with such ease, they boosted the morale of both their own team and their Kurdish partners, setting a positive tone for the rest of the mission. The success of securing the first building was a significant step towards their ultimate objective of freeing all the hostages and neutralizing the threat. Paine's leadership and the cooperation between the American operators and the Kurdish counterterrorism unit played a pivotal role in the mission's progress, showing the power of teamwork and skillful execution in such high-stakes situations. With determination etched on their faces, Thomas Paine and his team broke the lock on the prison door, unlocking the captive's path to freedom. As the door swung open, Paine witnessed a remarkable transformation in the hostages' expressions. Fear and despair gave way to overwhelming relief, excitement, and joy. Emotions ran high, and tears of gratitude streamed down the faces of some of the newly liberated captives. However, for the Special Forces, there was no time to revel in this initial success. They knew their mission was far from over. With unwavering focus and professionalism, they swiftly moved on to their next objective, rescuing the remaining hostages and neutralizing any threats they might encounter along the way. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty, Paine and his team displayed extraordinary courage and skill, ensuring the safety of those that had come to save. The stakes were high, but their rigorous training, precision, and cooperation enabled them to navigate through the challenges and stay on course. Their unwavering commitment to their mission and their ability to adapt to foreseen circumstances made them a formidable force. As they pressed forward, their resolve remained unshaken, knowing that the lives of over 70 hostages depended on their every move. As the team continued escorting the civilians to safety, a distressing radio message reached Paine's ears. His comrades at the second building were facing significant challenges and urgently needed assistance. The enemy inside had barricaded themselves, putting up a fierce resistance against the Special Forces, employing everything from grenades to suicide bombers. The sounds of battle echoed through the air, reaching Paine's position, leaving him with no time to spare. Understanding the gravity of the situation, he knew he had to take decisive action. Without hesitation, Paine rallied his team, uttering the words, "Let's get in the fight," as they prepared to face the intense enemy gunfire and head straight into the heart of the combat zone. Arriving at the second building, Paine and a fellow teammate swiftly climbed to the roof, utilizing the vantage point to engage the entrenched insurgents from above. With their exceptional marksmanship and tactical prowess, they strategically neutralized the enemy threats, providing much-needed support to their fellow soldiers on the ground. Their ability to adapt to the ever-changing conditions and act decisively in the face of danger showcased the true essence of the Special Forces. In a relentless pursuit of their mission, Paine and his team exemplified the highest standards of valor, selflessness, and camaraderie in the face of an enemy that was willing to stop at nothing to defend their stronghold. In the midst of the intense battle, Paine had a crucial objective in mind: to break the enemy's fierce resistance and pave the way for the second team to advance. Fighting from the rooftop, they faced a relentless barrage of enemy fire, not only from below but also from the surrounding area, adding to the chaos and danger. The situation got worse as explosions rocked the prison, setting parts of the building ablaze. The spreading flames quickly engulfed the upper floors, filling rooms with thick, dark smoke. Inside, the hostages were running out of time, their lives hanging by a thread, with the risk of suffocating from the toxic smoke, or facing a horrifying death by fire growing with each passing moment. Determined not to leave anyone behind, Kurdish and American special forces made repeated attempts to establish fire superiority and storm the building. However, progress came at a heavy cost, with the forces suffering significant casualties. Payne and his comrades pushed forward, resolute in their mission to save the innocent hostages. Descending to the first floor, the prisoner's door was securely locked, just like in the first building. To rescue the hostages, he knew he had to expose himself to the relentless enemy fire and the suffocating toxic smoke that filled the narrow hallway. The odds were stacked against him, but driven by an unwavering commitment to saving lives, he was prepared to risk everything. With just seconds to spare, Payne faced a critical decision that would determine the fate of the prisoners. Acting swiftly, he grabbed a bolt cutter, undeterred by the rain of enemy gunfire, and charged towards the steel door, cutting the first lock. The searing heat and suffocating smoke forced him to retreat briefly for a breath of fresh air, but there was no time for hesitation. A second lock stood between the hostages and freedom, and without a second thought, Payne braved the inferno once more, breaking the second lock. However, amid the triumph of their rescue efforts, an urgent radio message echoed through the chaos. The building was severely damaged and on the verge of collapse. The order to evacuate came, but Payne knew that some hostages were still trapped inside, refusing to leave them behind. With extraordinary bravery, Payne willingly re-entered the blazing inferno, running through the smoke-filled hallway and facing unclear enemy positions. Amid the confusion and chaos, he managed to guide all the hostages outside to safety. He did not stop there, as he returned to the building twice more, ensuring that no one was left behind. Only when he was certain that every person was accounted for and safe did he finally leave the hostile scene. Payne then reported to his team leader, informing them that all the hostages were rescued and that they were ready for evacuation. After the successful rescue mission, the special forces faced the challenge of evacuating the hostages while still facing potential threats in the vicinity. To ensure the civilians' safety, they used them as a human shield, positioning them in the midst of the soldiers. However, the traumatized hostages would reflexively stop whenever the soldiers opened fire, causing delays in the evacuation. In a selfless act, the special forces decided to seize their own covering fire, exposing themselves to a greater danger, so the hostages would no longer be frightened and could run up to safety. Upon reaching the helicopters, a new dilemma emerged. The team had freed so many hostages that it was uncertain if the helicopters could handle the extra load. With quick calculations, they managed to get everyone on board, albeit in cramped conditions, where the soldiers had to stand throughout the flight. In total, 75 hostages were rescued, 20 enemy fighters were killed, and 5 others were detained. Despite the intense danger and challenges, Payne and his team returned to their home base, unharmed, having accomplished one of the largest hostage rescues in Special Forces history. For his extraordinary actions during the mission, Payne was awarded the prestigious Medal of Honor in September 2020. Notably, he became the first living Delta Force member to receive this esteemed award, while the first 2 Medals of Honor had been posthumously awarded to snipers Sugar and Gordon for their heroics during the Battle of Mogadishu in 1993. However, the victory was bittersweet, as Delta Force soldier Joshua Wheeler, who had been hit during the prison assault, tragically succumbed to his wounds. Wheeler had shown relentless leadership in supporting his comrades from the other squad, courageously pushing forward despite enemy fire. In recognition of his brave actions, he was posthumously awarded the Silver Star. This intense and perilous mission highlighted the exceptional bravery, selflessness, and dedication of the Special Forces soldiers, forging an unbreakable brotherhood bound by experiences that only they could truly understand. Payne's actions during this operation further solidified his place as a true hero among heroes, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of military history. In the early morning of October 22, 2015, Thomas Payne and his team embarked on a daring mission to rescue hostages held captive in a prison in Iraq. The target was 2 multi-story buildings housing over 70 civilians who faced imminent execution at the hands of merciless insurgents. The Special Forces had spent an entire week meticulously planning the operation, preparing for any contingencies they might encounter. However, just as they engaged in a fierce firefight with the insurgents, an unexpected twist changed the course of the mission. New reconnaissance images revealed freshly dug graves outside the prison, indicating that the hostages' lives were in even greater jeopardy than they had initially realized. Time to save the captives unharmed was running out at a rapid pace, and the task force was given the green light to proceed with the rescue. Boarding several helicopters alongside their Kurdish partner forces from the counterterrorism group CTG, a unit of the Peshmerga known for working with Americans, Payne and his team made their way to the stronghold of the Islamic State where the hostages were held. As the team stormed the prison complex, they faced heavy enemy fire, climbing over the prison wall. Payne's team pressed forward despite the perilous conditions. Upon securing the first building, they freed 38 hostages, witnessing fear and despair transform into joy and relief on their faces. Even with the hostages liberated, Payne's mission was far from complete. The evacuation became a challenging endeavor as traumatized civilians reacted fearfully to the ongoing fire. Sacrificing their own cover fire, the Special Forces soldiers walked beside the hostages to ensure their safety and expedite their escape. After successfully evacuating all 75 hostages and neutralizing 20 enemy fighters, the team made their way back through the helicopters, were packed to capacity with the freed civilians. Despite the cramped conditions, the soldiers remained standing to accommodate everyone. Payne and his team returned to their home base, their heroics marking one of the largest hostage rescues in Special Forces history.